we all have to work sometimes at organizations and like with clients or companies. Like if you have to have something from like Amazon and say you're like against Amazon or capitalism in general, like it's difficult morally, ethically. I've been doing a lot of work recently, like just a lot of reading around like ethical leadership and how that shows up both in our professional and volunteer lives, but also in our personal lives. Some people don't have the privilege not to work at organizations that don't align perfectly with their values. I've been very lucky that I think several of the organizations that I've worked at we've been very picky. We've been very choosy about like who we work with, who we partner with. But quite frankly, it was because most of the people at those organizations look like me. And we have the privilege of receiving better funding. Or I know just because of the way I was brought up or my education or kind of previous clients or whatever, I know how to communicate in a way that maybe somebody who doesn't look like me doesn't. I think people have a responsibility, especially, cishet presenting like white men like me, if we have the platform, to push and to call those things out. And I will admit, I have not always been the best person in any, team. Like everybody has like work to do. I've messed up. I haven't always aligned perfectly with my values. In those moments, my advice or kind of what I've seen work is people own it and they recognize it and they talk about it with their friends. They talk about it with their family. They say like, this is against my values. I'm just gonna get my bag for a little while and then I'll like find something else that does. Or I can do this in my free time, my volunteer time, my personal time if I have a family. And imbue those values. It's not reflective of who you are just because, your boss is a moron.